things to people.
Going on to Mike Ashley's got to be one of the most hated owners ever. How was he to deal with? Did you have much to do with him?
Yeah, Mike was good. Yeah, Mike was really good.
That's going to be a big shock for a lot
I can
of people, isn't
imagine
it?
Twitter and all that be going mental now, saying, yeah, he would say that you're a connie. Mike was great. I get some of the things he'd done and they rubbed up the people the wrong way. I completely get that. And there was moments I thought, why has that happened? I didn't, but it wasn't my position to ask that. It's his club. But for us, or for me personally, and my family, fantastic. He always, he'd land his helicopter training. I'd be training the keepers, and I'd hear this in the distance. I think, what's that? And then this helicopter would swoop in, me balls would be flying everywhere. I swear, the balls would be flying everywhere. And they'd get out, and they'd be like, "How are you, fella?" Yeah, all right. What do you call him? Chairman, owner, what? And I say, all right, Mike. And he'd be, yeah, all right. And it just one of you, and you think, this geezer owns the club. He's like brilliant. And he'd come in and he'd have lunch with him, and he'd say hello to everybody. And
did the players like him?
Well, it's funny because you had a group of players when we arrived that wouldn't agree a bonus schedule with Mike, and they, in the end, said we're not doing we don't want a bonus. So there was a problem between players and Mike on a bonus schedule. I didn't know the ins and outs, but they just didn't agree it. I don't know whether the figures were miles apart. I couldn't tell you. But so there was obviously that initial problem with him and them. And I think they obviously liked Chris Hughton, and why wouldn't you? He done a great job. So there was obviously something going on there. But to us, Mike was great. We had good players at the time. We had support. It's like everything. It was going well. But the fans are always had this thing with Mike, and I get it. I do. I'm not just saying that. I do get some of their grievance with it. And then on the other side, I think, well, look, how much money can you keep putting into a football club? And he's publicly said he doesn't want to be there now. He wants to sell it. He's trying to sell it for the good of them. I don't know what more he can do. I get it. It's a tough situation. I really do. And I'm not sitting on the fence.
Is he a Newcastle fan?
No, he's a Chelsea fan, I think.
So why would you buy a football club? Because you can't make money from one, can you?
No,
really.
I
why
think
it's a strange one. Obviously, sports director, he might buy Debenhams now, right? Fair enough. He can make money off that. So why do you think he got involved in it?
I generally don't know. I think again, this is only what I'm led to believe over the course of time, that he ideally would have wanted to buy Chelsea because that was his club. And again, I might be a little bit off pace there, but Newcastle come up and it looks like it does. It looks like a big club and one city. And I would have hazarded a guess. Mike had it in his head maybe to, the terms flip the business, do well for a couple of years and sell it and get out. And I think there was a lot of underlining, would it be debt or underlining problems in the club that then just snowballed. And I don't think it was helped maybe by certain people employed at the time and all of that.
So you think you, like, sat here today, you think, fucking hell, I wish I'd never bothered with that?
That's a really good question, because I'm sure that he's had some great times with it.
It looks like he's had a good time doing it.
He has. Yeah, no, he has.
Has his other businesses prospered because it's Mike Astley, who everybody knows, as opposed to just being a random businessman who you walk past in the street and not recognise who he is?
Yeah, but I don't ever believe that he'd done it for that reason. I generally don't. Like you come across some chairmen and owners that their goal is to be the star, but they can't be the football star.
Yeah.
They want to be the owner of the club. I can't for 1 minute think that Mike did it for that reason. Not one bit of me for that. I mean, he's a very shrewd businessman, and a very shrewd businessman. And I think as it's gone on, it's just become messy and ugly, and the football clubs do go through that, don't they? They go ups and downs, but if you've got a man at the helm that the punters ain't having,
it's just constant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's never gonna get better. I mean, we got into Europe at fifth, and you'd have thought they'd have been thinking, well, blimey, this is great,
all right, yeah.
But then the following year we sold all of our best players, and it became a struggle. And that's where maybe as a supporter you're thinking, come on, add some more players to it, we can be even better.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that. We don't know what the books have to be balanced, I suppose.
How on earth did Pardew sign an 8-year contract? I've never seen a manager sign an 8-year contract before.
brilliant, wasn't
Did
it?
you sign it? Did you sign one as well?
It was the most amazing, surreal thing ever. So, I mean, there's been a lot said about the 8-year contract. And,
I'm so fucking sure there has.
yeah. And I can't believe I've signed for any other club anywhere in less than 8 years. Because I wouldn't even fit. It was kind of a bizarre moment, really. I'd gone out on a Friday night. I had a friend up from London, an ex-player for Gavin Neblin. He'd come up with his wife and I said, look, let's go out for a bite to eat. There's a nice sort of like bar restaurant, As You Like It, it's called, just on the outskirts of Jesmond. We can have a bite to eat. The girls can have a dance. We can have a catch up. And that was the plan. Like all good plans, the girls want to stay out longer. We started having a few drinks. I mean, it's a Friday night before a game. I mean, come on, I shouldn't be doing this, let's be honest. But I'm caught up with my friend, haven't seen him, we're having a good night. I'm thinking to myself, look, I've got to be going, but maybe saying, no, that's a little bit more. Like, I think, oh God, I've got a game tomorrow, you know what I mean? Then I hear, fucking hell, Mike Ashley's in the building. I think, oh no, fucking, that's all I need.
To Ingram.
Yeah,
Wrigley's.
I'm thinking like, this is all I need. And then I see Mike, Derek Lumbias and their crew of friends, and I don't know who they had with them, making a beeline to Woodman. I thought, oh, I'm in a bit of trouble here now. This ain't going to look good. So before he's got to me, I go, how are you, Mike? I said, I'm just shooting off. Just had a bit of dinner with the family. I mean, it's about fucking 12:30 now. 1 o'clock. He's kicking right on. He said, no, you stay here. Shots. Let's get some shots. I think, shots.
I've got to warm my fucking goalkeeper
Yeah, I'm
up tomorrow.
thinking, fuck me, shots. So I'm going, and my missus is looking at me going, oh, we're in a bit of shit here. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, you're fucking caused it. You made us stay out. So anyway, we have some shots, and he's like, there's some more shots. I'm thinking, fucking hell, like, what? I've got to go. How can I just suddenly say I'm going now? I'm all in here. So I'm chatting away and I'm trying to be nice. And he says, yeah, you've done a great job. Yeah, I fucking love you. He said, I'm going to give you an 8-year contract tomorrow. Mate, it was as if the music had stopped in the club. It was as if everyone had become sober. I'd gone from being really drunk and my wife dancing over there to my wife coming straight to me. Did he say 8 years? I'm going to everyone in the vicinity. Did he say 8 years? Can we rewind that? So I sort of went, no, honestly, Mike, I love it here. You know, you don't have to do that. In the end, I'm thinking, mate, where's the pen? So anyway, I said, I appreciate it. He said, no, it'll be that contract will be there tomorrow with you. And I think, we've got a game tomorrow, Mike. Like, I'd like you to keep it low key. Don't tell pards I've been out here going mental. So anyway, we go home. My missus all the way home and she's gone to like, did he say 8 years? I said, I think so. I said, but you know, he's had a drink. I literally turn up at the stadium. Like, you have to, when you get to the stadium, you sort of park at the top end corner and they take your car away and you walk up the pitch and then down the tunnel, say hello to all the nice, you know, stewards and that, and then walk along the tunnel and into Pards' office. So I'm walking along the side of the pitch and I'm thinking, dear, I feel a bit rough. Hopefully no one spotted me, but obviously ridiculous. So I walk down the tunnel, see all this stuff. How are you? You're up. Proper like Sky there and everyone else. Hey, you know, he said, oh, yeah, don't breathe on me. Walk up the tunnel, walk into Pards' office. He's reading the Times or whatever he's reading, chatting away. So he said, all right, mate, have a good night. Now, it's the sort of question your manager, mate, sort of asked. I sort of went, yeah, interesting. Like, I think he knows and I know that he knows, but how do we go about it? He said, yeah, it sounds like it was a good night, wasn't it? I said, yeah, weird night, mate. I said, like, might come out of something. I said, but he said, no. He said, you got to go up and sign an 8-year contract after the game. He's told the chief executive to draw up your contract, 8 years. Now, I won't lie to you. I'm buzzing. I'm thinking to myself, game? What game? Someone else take the keepers.
Mike Ashley Summerhouse now in back.
So I'm thinking to myself, like, so he said, mate, what are you going to do? And I'm thinking to myself, what answer does he want here? Because I know what I want to do. I want to go and buy a fucking Bic and sign it. So I said to him, I said, well, look, what do you think? I said, I don't want to upset him. Thinking to myself, don't upset him. I don't want to upset myself. So he said, look, you can't sign that contract. He said, because, and he's right. If I sign that contract, what's John Stoney? He's the manager of the club. I've got a longer contract than the manager. It was crazy, really.
Oh, so this was just for you?
Yeah, just for me. This was at this point. So now I'm in a world of pain. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I quite have a longer contract than the manager. And John and Stoney, I've got to look, they're going to think, what a shithouse. You know, and it is a bit shithousery, but 8 years is 8 years. So I'm now thinking...
Fuck you, pal.
Yeah, so now I'm thinking, how'd you turn down 8 years with Mike? More importantly, how do I turn around to Mike and say, look, really appreciate it, but no, I'm not going to sign it. that ain't really something that's the wisest move. So we're now, me and Bards, are saying, well, what are we going to do? This is like a fucking nightmare, mate. And I'm now thinking, yeah, it is a nightmare. As much as it's great, it's a fucking nightmare. So I said, look, I'll go up after, I'll see Lee Charlie, and I'll just see Mike, and I say, look, I really appreciate it, but it's not right that I sign a contract. As much as I want to sign it, I love it here, I'm quite happy, I'll give it all that spiel. He said, all right, do that, then we'll do that. So anyway, played the game, I can't remember if we won or lost. We used to go up in the ballroom every match. It was a lovely ballroom. Mike used to be up there, good as gold. Win or lose.
Do you think he, in the back of his head, appreciated you being so loyal to his
Staff?
I think if there's one thing that I bring to any football club I go to is like I am quite infectious character, and the team spirit. I've always been good on team spirit anywhere I've been, and I think he kind of maybe saw that I am good around the place. I'm not just a goalie coach, I'm not just. I sort of bring the staff together, bring the players together, and when it's you know what it's like, Parky. That's great when it's all going well. When it ain't going well, it's a hard job to do.
Yeah.
So that kind of went in my favour a little bit at the time, I think. But then I go and see Mike after, and I say, look, Mike. I can't thank you enough for the contract. I could see my missus sitting over there going, are you fucking mad? Like, seeing like, are you fucking mad? Like that, I'm going, no, I've got to do it, So I said, look, I appreciate the contract, Mike. I said, but I can't sign it. It's going to cause you a bigger problem with like the manager, the assistant manager, and all the other staff. I said, like, as much as it's lovely, well, I'll give you all 8-year contracts. Now I'm thinking, buzzing, but I'm now thinking, this is now a bigger problem for Barnes and a bigger problem for not John or Stone, because they'd be buzzing, but a bigger problem now. So I said, well, look, I'll leave it to you. I didn't know where to go with this now. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, of course, well to now.
Well, we should have stopped in last night.
Yeah. So anyway, that week, Pars pulls me and says, fucking hell, he says, you cause mayhem, mate. He says, like, he's offered us all 8-year contracts. I said, well, where's the mayhem in that? So anyway, he said, well, I suppose like anything, if you're a manager, you don't want to just sign a contract, you want to get it right.
Yeah.
So this went on now, and it went quiet a little bit. So me, John and Stoney are non-stop thinking, any news in this 8-year contract? we can't really say anything, right? We can't really fucking ask Barnes, because he's going to hit the fucking roof of us, like, because that's all we've been talking about now for about 6 weeks. As he said to me about the 8-year contract. That's all we talk about. We've got no other conversation. Anyway, I can't remember where we were. Barnes said, look, just let you know, I've agreed with contracts with Mike, and you'll be getting your contracts sent to you. So we're all sort of like thinking, 2 years, what sort of contract, Bard? Yeah, it's fucking 8 years, yeah. He's got us fucking tied up for 8 years, but anyway, he's going to send it to you and all that. Anyway, that week we get a message from the chief exec. I'm going to email over your contract to you. Mike's put a certain amount of money in there for you to spend on a lawyer to look at the contract, so you know it's proper contract. So we kind of expected these contracts to be like 8-year contract with like a year
severance.
Yeah, severance. It's a standard sort of thing, really. Mate, I said to the sports lawyer. The sports lawyer rings me up. He says, I've got this contract in front of me. He said, have you signed it yet? I said, no, I wasn't sure. Like, what do you think? He went, well, I'm telling you, get a fucking pen and sign it. He said, and get yourself sacked from that job as quick as you can. He said, there's full pay up in there. And that was a top sports lawyer saying. I went, really? He went, yeah. He said, he'll pay you up. If it don't go wrong, he's invested in you guys, and he'll settle it within so many days. So we signed his contract. We couldn't believe it. But then it became a bit of a fucking noose around our neck in a weird way, because what happened is, whenever we play another team, all they talk about the opposition staff, like before the game, after the game. Have you not signed an 8-year contract? It become like, so then we'd start trying to divert the conversation, because we knew Pars would be going fucking Gary ass, like he'd be going mental, saying fucking that contract. So everywhere we play, he'd say, you signed an 8-year contract? And we'd be like, yeah, like playing it down. We're really with yourself, yeah, we've got 8 years. mental, and that's how it come about, and that's how we end up signing.
All over a few shots.
It was crazy. It was I can't say it any other way. I can't glamorise it or unglamorise. That was literally how it come about. And I'm not just saying I like Mike just because of that, but it did help. But he was a proper fella, like, honestly, being in I'm not just saying it, but being in his company is actually a lot of fun. And I know that there'll be people going mental in Newcastle, and I understand that. I generally do. But you could not dislike this man. You know, he had a weirdness about him that was brilliant. A brilliance and a weirdness. And I know that the fucking fans in Newcastle go, you fucking tosser. My poor son will probably get battered on Twitter now because of it. But, you know, I can only speak as I find.
Yeah, you can only speak, you can only speak about your experiences with him, can't you?
Exactly that.
Where was the team at when you signed the contract? Were you flying still?
That's a good question, that. Do you know what? I really don't know if we'd been at the end of the season when we got into Europe or midway through that following season. I think it was at the end of that season because I think
It's half understandable then, isn't it?
Yeah,
Flying.
think,
Doing well.
and I think, in fairness, I think Pards have been linked with a couple of really big jobs,
That's what
including
I
the
was
England
about to
job.
ask that question because you went, Pards were like, oh, fucking, I'm getting tied down to an 8-year contract.
Listen, I mean, when you strip it away, we took that Newcastle team from like where it was to Europe. I mean, and we was, I think we was one win off being in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, if you say that now, people say, really? And even I think, fucking hell, we was that close to the Champions League. I mean, that was quite amazing. And it was brilliant.
When you say Pards being linked with big jobs, Newcastle in the Champions League, there's not that many bigger jobs.
No.
Really, with the size of the club, if the club's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he's,
you know what I
I think
mean?
you said about the England job. If he's getting linked with the
we
England
get to
job,
have
it's
the England
like...
job. And then we played Benfica, and we lost out there. Or did we draw? I can't remember. But and then we played them at home, and we lost 1-0 at home. Last kick of the match they scored. We got a standing ovation at Newcastle for losing that game, which I still sends a tingle up my spine. It was unbelievable. But then it was quite amazing how quickly it turned. So we lost that game, but got a standing ovation. I think we played someone like Man City, lost, and then someone else and lost, and then all of a sudden, Sky and all of no wins in 4, no win, and you think, fucking hell, 3 weeks ago we was getting standing ovation,
Yeah, we
and
played-
then it
we played these.
spun like that,
So quick.
and it was really like, it really got ugly at the end, and it was really heartbreaking because I don't think people, and they're not going to realise. Why are they going to realise? But we actually loved it there. We loved the club. We loved the people. I love the people there. I mean, my son lives there. So it's got, and I hope people would respect that. I do generally mean that about Newcastle, the club, the fans, the staff that work there. I speak to them all the time. So you know, when it got ugly, it was really not a nice ugly for everyone because we generally did care.
When I say this is a time where it gets a bit ugly, and you're like, ah,
Yeah.
fuck 'em.
When did it get ugly? In time frame from when you got into Europe, it wasn't the next season, was it?
The following season, I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. I'm sure we started quite badly the following season. We'd lost some players, and I'm sure it was the following season. And then towards the end of that season, I'm saying this off of memory, and I might be corrected. It was mediocre, and then the following season, we had a bad run. I think of like no wins in 6, and then we went on a run of winning 6 on the spin. But it was still ugly. The crowd weren't having it.
Maybe get somebody in the head.
And they might hate me for saying this, but they couldn't get to Mike because Mike you just can't get to, you know.
they
So
were
the next
asked.
thing is the manager, and every time Pards stood up, they would boo, jeered, and so he was doomed if he didn't. He wanted to stand up and sort the team out, but it was detriment to the team because the crowd were going mental, and he was like, "Look,
What do I
I'm
do?"
just trying to run the team here."
Did you have conversation amongst yourselves like, fuck me, we've got to be close to the boot here?
No, because we never felt we was close to the boot because we'd
We've
gone.
got fucking 5-4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
well, but it was
you
really
know,
bizarre because what happened is we'd had the bad run and then we'd put 6 straight wins together, and I think we beat Everton and we beat Man City at Man City. I mean, it was kind of, and the team you put out at Man City. If you ever get a chance to look at that team, we had like a kid called Rolando Aarons playing, a young boy. We had Adam Armstrong. I think we had Robbie Elliott in goal. We went to his team and we was thinking, oh, this could be a laugh.
We'll take 2-0.
Yeah, and we won 2-1. And so it was like bizarre. And we went on this run, 6-game winning run. And then I think off of memory, and again, I think then Pards then went to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace come in and it just seemed to, the timing of like, look, we can't, I think from Pards' point of view, it was a case of, look, there's no better time for you, Mike, to let me go for the good of the club, you know. And I don't think Alan wanted to go for 1 minute because he loved Newcastle. And I know people might say, why wouldn't you love Newcastle? It's a fantastic club. It really is, and a great club, great city. But it just was getting to the stage where it was very uncomfortable for Alan, for his family, for all of us.
So, what Palace a better move for Pars, or just I'm out of it in that sort of way?
Yeah, I think
you know what
I think at the time Steve Parish was really building something at Palace at that particular time. It was still going through its sort of, you know, been in the Premiership. I think Steve was looking to sort of kick on a little bit more with the club. I think he'd always been an admirer of Pars at that time, and I think, look, people might find this crazy, but Pars was getting linked with some really big jobs at the time. So from Palace's point of view, it was a really good signing. You know, they was getting a man. And look, and I'm not saying this for any bias. Pars is a top manager. You know, like him or loathe him, whatever your thoughts are on him, you know, his runs, his stats, but he's a very good manager, and he has a way of motivating teams. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of negative people saying stuff, but you know, he's a good manager. So Steve thought he was getting a good deal. You know, getting a manager he'd probably been courting for a few years. And it was maybe a good way of Mike relieving the pressure at the ground.
So when you came to leave Newcastle, how did that happen? Did you?
Yeah, well, that was... so then what happened is he got
did the 8-year contract come to fruition?
Well,
or not?
You know, this is a funny, painful story.
I get excited when you take a deep
Yeah,
breath.
no, this is one of those moments where you think, wow, this is just unbelievable. So what happened is we got to the end of the season. We just stayed up. We get a message. Can John meet Lee Charnley at 2:00, Stoney at 2:30, Woody at 3:00? So we all know we've had this call for. So we said, right, let's meet across the road in the Shark Bar, have a beer first, and then we'll go up one at a time across. You know, it's right opposite the ground. So anyway, I'm not gonna lie. We're all like buzzing, happy days. This is us, you know.
How many years you got left? 3?
5. Still got 5 years left. Yeah, still got 5 years left. So we're all thinking buzzing. So you know, in my head, I'm thinking, brilliant, paid up, Palace, lovely. You know, back home. You know, I don't want to leave my son up there, but football's football. You know, and people might.
But fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, on your own, son. But people don't get that in the real world, do they? That football's football. You know, you 1 minute you're in a club and then 1 minute you're gone. You're not part of anything. So John goes up and we're at Minstead having a beer, chatting away. John comes, we see him walk across the zebra crossing, and Newcastle fans would notice the zebra crossing to the Shark Bar. John walks in, he went, sacked. So we're all like, well, yeah, we know that, but go on, what? They said, no, full pay up. Money being me account in, I think, 7 days. So I'm like, fucking hell. I said, well, look, I'm sorry, John, to be sacked, mate, but I'm fucking buzzing, you know, fucking brilliant. So, like, kind of like, want to celebrate, but, like, it don't feel right, but, you know, that's football, you know, and this is the harsh reality of football. Stoney goes up, comes back less than 10 minutes. He said, yeah, sacked. Paid up 7 days. He said they want to see you now. So you can imagine me. I'm fucking like Rupert the Bear going across the zebra crossing and skipping. I've got my peacock feathers up. I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm stopping the traffic 1 minute. I'm going to get a 5-year pay up here. Like, hold on. I get in the lift, go up. And like, I'll never forget it to this day. I walk in and I think I said something like, coming in, Lee, let's sort out the pay up, mate. Like that, you know, just trying to make it joking because I thought, let's not make it awkward for everyone. He went, oh, no, we want to keep you. I remember going, you what? You can't do. Why? That's not fair. I'm saying to this guy, it's not fair you want to keep me in a job. I mean, what other bloke says that? And I'm going, no, you paid them up. Oh, I've got to be paid up as well. Well, no. And actually, he did say, no, Mike loves you. He says, like, you know, you're the reason the contract's because he loves you, wants you to keep you. And I was like, fucking hell. Like, I'm shocked, like I'm devastated, but I'm now thinking to myself, well, I better look like I want to stay now because fucking I'm here. So anyway, I go down in the lift. I say, oh, cheers, Lee, I appreciate that. And then he must have thought, that's fucked you. He must have thought, that's fucked you. So anyway, I go down in the lift. I walk across the zebra crossing, like no movement,
no Rupert Bear,
no fucking Rupert Bear, no like high fiving. I walk into the sharp bar and John is saying again, sorted? No. Shut up. And they couldn't believe it. And I said, mate, I'm going to have to go home. I've got to tell my wife we're in a job still. And I walked in the house and my missus went, we're packing up. We're done. We're going back to London. I went, no, they want to keep me. She burst out crying. She burst out crying. She went, it's so unfair. I was thinking to myself, what's unfair? We're in work. Like, we've signed a contract, but I actually think to myself, you're right, it is unfair. Why do we never get paid up? Anyway, and that was it. Like, I stayed. So I toughed it out through the fucking summer. Waiting till they announce a new manager, and all I could, and I've got Pars now saying to me, mate, look, I want you to come to Palace. I said, well, I can't get out of this contract. Well, look, we're going to have to. I want to take you to Palace. Oh, well, fucking hell. Look, mate, if you can't get out, I'm going to have to get another goalie coach. Now I'm thinking, fucking hell, I'm up against it here a little bit. So I said, look, they want me to go on a pre-season tour to America. And anyway, just prior to that, Lee Charney says to me, look, new manager's being announced, Steve McLaren. He's really, really delighted you're staying. He wants to meet you. And I'm thinking, fucking hell. I'm going to be so off with this geezer that he's going to think, fuck me, I don't want this geezer to work with me. So literally, right, I turn out a training ground, I've gone through all the emotions of like, I ain't going to like you, whatever happens, we're not going to get on. And actually, when I think back, it's pretty shit really, but I thought, I've got to get out of here because I need to get, he needs his goalie coach. I literally walk in and I've got this somber face like I'm going to row with you, try and get us paid up. And he went, Woody, how are you, mate? I'm fucking delighted to see you. Come and sit down. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited to be working with you. I know this is the England manager, right? And I feel myself, fucking hell. What a fucking lovely fella. I feel myself, what a lovely fella. So I feel myself, fuck it, Woody, stay with the game. You don't like him. He's horrible. You don't want to work with him. So he's like, sit down. Tell me about yourself. Oh, I'm in full pantomime mode now. Yeah, I'm a goalie coach. Yeah, but what else do you do? Nothing, just goalie. Set pieces? No. Like, that's my conversation, like this. Well, I'm buzzing to be with you. We're going to have a good season. This geezer is either not getting it or he knows that I'm playing the game and he's going to just play the game with me, right? Which I think was the actual what it was. Yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking, fucking hell, I've got the nicest bloke in football. I can't fall out with him because it's just like impossible. And he was such, I've got to tell you, a top fella. And I'd like to go on record of apologising. I did apologise to him for my behaviour because I had to get out of the club. But he was such a lovely fella, Parker, do you know what I mean? So anyway, we go to Chicago right now. You can imagine all the staff, the backroom staff, they were like, fucking hell, you're on the trip. You thought you was going to be going to your mate. I'm like, they're killing me, right? They're proper killing me. Like, but it's good banter. Thinking, fucking, it's going to be an hard trip. I've got Pards telling me, what's happening? I said, I've got to go on the trip. I said, I can't just walk out. I've got to sit tight here. Well, look, you're going to have to have a word with him. So early on, I meet Steve. I said, Steve, look, we need to sort this out. You want to bring your own goalie coach in. I said, I understand that. I said, I know how it works. I'll get a move back to London with my family. I said, like, and I was being like all diplomatic, and he was like, Woody, I'm with you. It couldn't have been any fairer, right? So I'm thinking, he said, look, I'll have a word with the chief exec and I'll come back to you. Let's see if we get a resolve for both of us. Buzzing. So I rung past and look, I think we could be all right. It's going to be sorted. So just hold fire, mate. Anyway, nothing. Nothing. We fly to somewhere else, play a game here, play a game there, nothing. So I'll never forget, we're at Chicago Airport. The fucking cases are coming round, all the fucking cases coming round, like, and my boy comes up to me and my boy knows, like, he's only a young pro at the time. I think in fairness to Steve McLaren as well, he just gave me his debut out there. So my boy comes down next to me and he goes, my boy calls me fella. He goes, yeah, you all right, fella? I said, yeah, I'm all right, mate. I said, look, you might want to distance yourself from me. I said, I'm going to have a fucking row here. So he's looking at me going, oh no, Dad, not now. No, I said, look, mate, I've got to do what I've got to do. I've got to get out of this fucking place. So you go and stand over there and just keep yourself out of the way and pretend to put your earphones on. So I could see him thinking, fucking hell, here we go. So literally the case is coming around. Steve McLaren is just fucking happy. He's like, he's just
that's worse, isn't it?
Mate, he's like, happy guy. I think he's saying things like, is this yours, Woody? Do you want me to grab it? Or
at least like a bit of jet lag, don't you?
He's just like the nicest fella. And I can't tell you, anyone that don't know Steve McLaren, he's a top fella. And I'm not just saying it because of this situation, but he was ridiculously lovely. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, this is going to be the hardest thing I ever do. But come on, you got to do it. You got to just kick off here. So I said to Simo's his assistant, who's another lovely fella. I said, Simo, what the fuck's going on, mate? He's going up. Oh, we're getting the cases off. No, fucking, what's going on? His fucking mate sorting out. Is he mugging me off? So I'm building myself up here to have a row with someone that don't even know I'm going to row with him and probably wouldn't row anyway because he's such a beautiful, lovely man. I thought I'd like to say, Steve, how are you? Anyway, Steve turned around and I go, are you taking a fucking piss at me, Steve? And he's like, looking going, what? I said, fucking you mugging me off. Like now I'm creating a scene in Chicago airport. I've got some of the staff thinking, fucking hell, Woody's kicking off here. And I'm going like, nah, fuck it, it's bollocks. Like, you said you'd fucking sort it out and I'm fucking hanging out.
Are the players here?
The players are there, the staff are there, everyone's there. The people that meet you to take you to the next destination, you know, like I think it was like Portland Timbers or something like that. They're there thinking, the fuck's going on here? I'm kicking off, right? To the point where I'm even thinking, this is getting uncomfortable. Is he getting this or like what? Anyway, they calmed me down and he said, like, Woody, I didn't know you was that upset about it. I'll get onto it. And like, in fairness, he did and we forced it. And anyway, I get back to Newcastle and the chief exec says, look, it ain't working. I said, no, it's not working. I said, look, he's a lovely fella. It's not working. I've got to go. Anyway, we come to the deal. It was by no means the same deal as those other two got, let me tell you. Which still sits there to this day. And those two still say, well, you got the contract, you know. And then I ended up back at Palace with Barnes. So that was how it come about. It was a funny old time.
Have you spoken to McLaren since?
Well, it's funny because then we played obviously Newcastle that season. And I kid you not, and I'm not exaggerating this, where he warmed up the keepers at Palace is right by the tunnel where they come out.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed to admit this. I was thinking, oh, fucking hell, like, this could be awkward, you know. Like I was a bit out of order, Steve. How do I address it? I'm thinking in my head, how do I address this? Literally, I'm warming the keeper at Wayne Hennessy. He has to come right by the touchline by me, didn't he? Like in the water, just look out. I swear, Woody, how are you? I was like, fucking hell, you are such a top fella. And he come over to me and I said, I think I said something like, Steve, look, I need to apologise. I was a little out of order, but I hope you understand my reasons. He went, I get it, it's football, don't you? He was brilliant. Like, brilliant. And I you know, I couldn't say anything else. He's just top fella. So that led me on to Crystal Palace.
That's fair play to McLaren as well, saying, like,
Brilliant.
I understand.
Yeah, he obviously knew, didn't he?
Yeah, mate.
All along.
For me to think that man hadn't been in the game as long as he had and knew exactly how it worked, he was brilliant. And like, could he have dealt with it differently? Absolutely not. He was brilliant. You know, he kind of let me do the sort of like creating.
Clever, innit?
And you know, did it work out for me? No, probably not. But you know, he worked out for him. He let me create all the noise to get his own goalie coaching.
See, that we've always spoke about in past about players kicking off to get out and get paid up and all that, but that's the first time we've heard about coaches doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have been stuck there. And it wasn't, I didn't want to stay at Newcastle. It really wasn't. I just thought to myself that, look, am I going to see out whatever manager here is for a long time? And I felt like I could get stuck there. You know, where'd you go from Newcastle, job-wise?
Yeah.
There's Sunderland, you ain't going there. And then there's Hartlepool, which, with all due respect, didn't want to go there just in a rush.
Yeah.
So you kind of, I knew I had to get back to London, as painful as that was to leave my son there. But I knew my son was at a point now where he needed not to have me really there as well. He was
He was on his own, mate, like.
Yeah.
One crack, you're on your own now.
Yeah, and I think it was just the right time for him to be Freddie Woodman, not Freddie Woodman, oh, your dad's a goalie coach.
Yeah.
And that was a nice moment for him to just have his own identity. And I think he felt that after a time. Not that there was any problem when we was there, but as you get older, it's going to be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah. It's good to be back home. Like,
really hard, really hard. Yeah, really hard. We, my daughter struggled. You know, you have a lot of freedom up in the northeast. You know, a lot of freedom going out, do what you want. It's safer. The people all speak to you. I mean, I'd walk into the newsagents, go, "Morning, how are you?" And the back look at me, going, "Is he robbing me? Is he going to rob me?" or something like down here. Up there, you speak to some of the newsagents for ages. You know, it really. I can't stress how much lovelier it is up there. And again, I'm just speaking honestly. The people were nice, and the lifestyle was nice. Beaches. I mean, mate, if you told me there was a beach in Newcastle just down the road, before I went, I'd said, "Yeah, cool." Beautiful. You know, I
You didn't even know where fucking Newcastle were. Why did they go to a beach?
I like fucking beach. I was like, People didn't tell me, dude. A fucking wrap up is minus fucking 8. Fucking hell, I can't do it in a t-shirt. But yeah, it was lovely. Yeah, top place. So yeah, that was the Newcastle Palace experience.
Another very quick message from